Hello, and we are back for more of the Star Ladder League Invitational Season 3 China Open Qualifiers Game 2 between Braveheart versus Newbee.Young. Alright, so the score right now is 1-0 favoring Team Braveheart. As you can see here, a little light up point over there. My name is Hades, and joining me, PQMZ. Hello, PQ. You still there?
I am indeed, and we have another Venner.
Where's the Necro pick? Oh, they first banned it. Newbee are traumatized. They don't want to play against that. They're like, we're done. That hero's too broken. Like you said, we saw back in game 1 that was a crazy 1v4. Didn't really expect that hero to last as long as it did. But alright, so there we go. Game 2, what do you expect to be done differently for Newbee.Young this time?
I have a feeling they'll go more mid-game orientated heroes that don't need as much ramp-up time, maybe. Or at least stronger in the laning stage. Because they had this really strong lineup with 4 heroes, and then they put an anti-mage next to it, and it would have worked if the AM had an amazing game. But you see when it doesn't work how the other 4 heroes suffered. Like, they really struggled to make plays because they were always playing against 5 heroes when they were 4. They had no way to utilize their supports with their carry, which just made it like a lot easier for the other team to play the game.
Well, I don't know. I just feel like for Newbee.Young, I still stick to my my opinion where I felt like there were several options they could have picked instead of the anti-mage pick. You know what I mean? Like I did point out the Lifestealer, even pick up the Ursa for themselves. Like there were very few heroes at that point of time where or even in. Okay, what do you think about like if they had picked up say an Alchemist mid, something else? Because I like your suggestion when you said that put the Venom into the safe lane, right? And get something like a Sniper SF, maybe even a
They could have picked like Lycan. And there's so many things they could have picked to gone with like more of their other 4 heroes' timings, but this is the beauty of Dota, right? Like these people will all see it differently to how I see it, and they went with what at least someone on their team thought was a good anti-mage game, and it just didn't work out. So now they'll take a step back, they'll reassess. It was only game 1, they've got 2 games to take it back now.
Or
It's never good to be a game down, but better than being out.
For sure. Alright, so taking out the Bloodseeker again. Oh no, when I see Bloodseeker ban, I'm thinking, oh, they're going for the anti-mage again.
Bloodseeker's just a good hero, man.
It is. Or even Lifestealer, for example, because... Wait, hold on. Juggernaut wasn't even banned in the previous game. They could have picked up the Jug as well. I mean, that probably would have been a bit better. It helped them to, like you said, meet the other heroes' timings as well.
Yeah. But this is hindsight, right? Like, it's so easy to go back and say. Like, they're on a timer, and it doesn't matter how long they have to think if they also just go on one line of thought. Like, if someone mentions, what about anti-mage? And then everyone's thinking, yeah, it can be a good AM game if this happens, and this happens, and this happens. And then they're all like, yeah, that sounds pretty easy. Let's go with that. And then they've got 5 seconds left, and someone says, yeah, but what if this happened? And they're like, no, dude, it's too late now. We're going anti-mage. It's been decided.
Well, I also feel like sometimes, I realize that a huge difference is, even if, for example, like maybe for us as spectators, we can say like, okay, we should have drafted this instead. But for some of these teams, like they're only thinking about in that moment, like in the game, what could have been done better. Like I feel like that can actually be a huge difference. Like maybe to them at the time they were thinking, oh, maybe we should have made this play, maybe this we could have done something else.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or maybe even like I could have bought a different item. So you really never know. There's so many ways to look at it, and I agree with you completely about how versatile this meta is. It's so flexible. I'm actually looking forward to see more officials, especially since we're going to be casting a lot more coming up. And alright, there we go, Dazzle pick. That's going to be a pause 5. I really feel the Newbee need to just play around with their draft. Like they have a lot of options available to them. I feel they don't have to always just restrict their heroes to a specific lane. At least that's the impression I'm getting from the Veno pick.
Yeah, Veno, Shaker, extremely versatile heroes. Shaker can play every role in the game, pretty much. Veno can play all 3 core roles. He's less usable as a support these days, because people kind of figured out how to deal with the jungling hero, and then the jungle also got nerfed, so... It's more of a pocket strat. But I like these ambiguous picks. It makes it a lot harder to draft against. Whereas, Braveheart, they just pick these heroes, and you kind of know where they're going. Worked for them last game.
But...
All these fancy draft tricks don't really mean anything if you just play better.
Oh, Viper. All right. I mean, they're done with the cancer, so they pick up their own cancerous hero.
Yeah, when you don't have Necro, you need another green hero that provides Resident Sleeper for the viewers. So.
Okay, yep. Hold on. I'm gonna try and fix the audio. For some reason, my Dota audio isn't really working. But don't worry, guys. We'll be back pretty soon. I promise you guys.
There's always one tech issue every game, right?
There's always one tech. For some reason, there always has to be one tech issue. But don't worry, guys. I'm fixing it right now. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, we should be okay. I think you guys should be able to hear the volume right now. So.
10 seconds.
Alright, so yeah, like, we were saying the Venom pick. Okay, apparently when I did that, the bottom half of my screen was all black for a moment there. Okay, so don't worry, we're back, No Darth Vader clockwork. Yeah, like there was this bug. If you check on the stream, like maybe a minute and a half, you'll see that I went to check the audio settings, and I got back to the game. The bottom half of my screen was like all black. Clockwork looked like Darth Vader. It also looked like someone.
Is that racist, dude?
No, I'm not being racist, dude. Why would... How's Clockwork being Darth Vader sound racist in any way?
It's you having black on your screen, dude.
Ah. Man. Okay. That's the first, man.
And now there's a Terrorblade hero, you know? He's also kind of black. He glows blue, but...
No, I was just saying the bottom half of my screen. Anything above the top half. Like, Newbee were all colored, and Team Braveheart was just all black. All the heroes had a black theme going on. I'm not making things any better for myself, am I?
No, you're really not. You're digging a hole.
Yep, it's getting deeper every second. It's basically me, and for some reason, I have this really bad habit. Okay, I'm just gonna stop talking and just let you do the talking with the draft. Terrorblade, yes, to the Terrorblade pick PU.
Really nice hero. I really like Terrorblade Dazzle. It gives you very high consistency of getting effectively the second life in the fight with Sunder. Makes the Sunder cooldown at level 25 also a lot more viable as a talent. It's a good hero. It's kind of contrast last game with the AM. It can achieve the same things as Anti-Mage in terms of splitting the map and pushing, but it does it in a way that allows your team to still play their version of the game. Like, Terrorblade augments this lineup instead of contrasts it, which is a big difference. You know, Braveheart have very similar things to what they had the last game. 3 of the 4 heroes are the same. Viper can function in a similar way to Necro in terms of how he plays the game. He just doesn't have the lockdown, but he has a bit more right-click damage and is a bit more annoying to bring down in certain cases. But for the most part, it looks like the game's going to be pretty similar.
We're actually going to see a classic matchup, something which you probably see from those those Dota intro videos. Dragon Knight versus Viper. Oof. I'm not sure if you've seen that clip, but this will be interesting.
I don't think so.
I don't think like Viper is going to have such a big edge against Dragon Knight, because Dragon's Blood, Dragon's Blood has taken a few really nice buffs like over time, and it's really hard to kill this hero. It's like, if you're really unsure what to pick against any hero, you just pick the Dragon Knight, just for the safe option, because you realize how tanky this hero is. And not to mention, like, I don't know, by 8 minutes, once you get your first level 6, your first Dragon form, you basically take towers really nicely. And I think they also buffed like his splash damage on the Dragon form. Like, as it keeps growing, it keeps increasing as well.
I just think DK is a great hero. Like, he's always been one of my preferred mid heroes, and whenever this 5-man meta is a thing, DK is always option. An option, sorry. I like the Slack here though, because it's a hero that can find the backlines, and once you snowball with fights, like, you can tear through Dragon Knight and Terrorblade pretty quickly, more than most carries. But this game, I'm looking at the draft and I'm thinking Newbee have like such a better chance of this game going well, and I would favor them going into it unless Viper does some ridiculous laning shenanigans and snowballs super hard.
I mean, I've seen some really good Viper, at least in C. Like, there's this dude, like a Viper player or something, it's like about 6k. Let's go straight for the Midas, helps him scale a bit better, but I think like Viper's late game potential is something which has been overlooked purely because I think no one ever wants to play Viper because he's just boring, right?
It's boring.
Yeah, but
yeah,
let's face it.
You run around like with Smoke, he has 327. I think his base is 385, which is like the same as CM, and yeah, it's not fun to play as hero. You waddle around the map slower than nearly anything else. He doesn't have a move speed talent, so you can't replace boots. Like, it's just not a fun hero, man.
But okay, what do you think about his talents? Let's talk about the Viper's talents. Like, I feel it's something not many people have
think
talked
they're
about as well. They're okay, but not so exceptional. Like, what do you think about his level 25 talent, for example?
20 armor is amazing, dude.
With corrosive skin.
Don't get me wrong, like the 10 and 15 are where he shines because the 175 health and the agi or the strength, if you really want it, just they augment your early game so well. Then the 20 and 25 are like meh. I kind of wish they were a bit better, but the first two talents are really good for how the hero wants to play.
His level 20 talent is weird though. Like 75 attack range, I guess it helps him siege a bit better, especially since this hero naturally just built into a Dragon Lance, into a Hurricane Pike, but the poison attack affects buildings. Okay, that's just a bit weird for me. Like, why would you want movement slow on like a barracks, for example? Or
It's the attack speed slow.
The attack speed slow. Okay, I guess. Okay, that makes more sense.
But who cares, man? Like 75 attack range is, not that good. You get a Dragon Lance, and then it makes it so that you're 210 or 215, which makes you outrange the towers slightly, which is fine. But
I mean, that's usually enough, isn't it? Just being out of range of the towers, you siege. You never know. Maybe in a while, suddenly everyone realizes, okay, we have to be boring. We have to just pick Viper. But enough about that. Dragon Knight versus Viper matchup. And seems quite even with the creep block at least. I don't know, I feel like White Chen, despite losing the lane, he died 3 times, 2 to 3 times, he still came back. He still played awesome in game 1. We'll see whether this game, now that he's given a hero which should have a bigger advantage, maybe the time things will be a bit different.
I mean, if you compare the impact based on how his lane went, then it can't really go much worse, right? And he basically, like, he didn't win the game for his team single-handedly, but he did everything he needed to. He just had a hard lane. Now his lane's gonna be pretty easy. DK has like 0 kill potential on a Viper. Viper is gonna do slightly better in the CS, especially with this clockwork helping out, but you can't really zone the DK, especially when he starts with PMS and doesn't go greedy and get Quelling Blade. And once he gets level 3, he's got a free ring of health, 6 armor, like, good luck.
What about this interesting Newbee.Young Venomancer offlane pick? We haven't talked about this just yet. I guess at the beginning we kind of thought that perhaps the Earthshaker was going to be the offlane, but in this case, missing the top, they will get the pounce though. So Venom should be dying here. Yep, lift back. Actually, Ruby get the first blood. Why would you
That's
not
nice, actually.
carry?
What is this?
Yeah, but now he gets boot. And the carry gets CS, even though he missed a few creeps for the kill. It's still worth.
Dude, I'm from C. You give carry everything, man. Usually.
Yeah, and that's what. Actually, I'm not gonna say it. That's a bad idea. My Dota crashed.
Go ahead.
So. No, dude. I'm not saying it. I will get flamed into oblivion. So.
That's never stopped you before, dude. No, you're just being humble here. All right. Mal force lasted under his tower. We're not letting this go, dude. We're gonna come back to this later on. You do realize that?
Fine. You can come back to it, but I'm not telling you. Well, I'll tell you, but I'm not telling everyone else who's watching.
Oh,
that's just unfair.
Catching him on the wrong side of the field. That's really unfortunate. He had a haste grenade. I kind of saved him for that.
Just wait a minute.
Qual really wants to snipe a courier. He's like, I know courier's on the way. There should be a bottle soon, but what he doesn't realize is that not that soon. Oh, Laowei is having a really hard time. It's hard.
Takes so long to reconnect into Dota.
No problem. Yeah, PQ has questionable internet. I'm not sure where he is. But okay, so Newbee.Young, like you said, Mao with the level 2 Dragon's Blood. Look at that health regen, 6 health regen, plus 6 armor as well. It's really hard to kill this hero. Clockwork coming in, going for the slow. Can they catch him with the calls? Maybe yes, they will. He's going to the high ground. With batteries are getting some hits on Mao. Where the creeps did hit that, the cog spot. Alright, so once again, he barely took any damage at all. Or sometimes actually maybe it's not his internet. Like, PQ is just having perfect world lag. Yeah,
let's play Perfect World.
Let's play
Sounds
Perfect
good
World.
Even though it was perfectly fine the last game, and I know it's my internet having like a momentary blip, but whatever.
Oh, dude, blaming your internet in this case, like blaming your supports when you miss CS.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Oh man, DNX, they do get top lane kill one time. I feel so bad for this Venom to pick.
Just what I've been waiting.
I don't. Like, he's level 4, and he's forcing these 3 heroes up here, which... It's not as effective as, like, if you had a mid hero that doesn't lane so well against Viper. Like, DK can deal with the rotations, but he's getting his levels, and... You know, the Slack's contested in the lane, which is a good thing.
Dire's bottom tower
Like, sure,
won't
he's
last
getting a
long.
gold from his kills, but... I wouldn't be too unhappy, and they needed a way to lane this Venom if they wanted these 2 cores, and this is the only way it works out. And he's going to be super annoying as the game goes on anyway, so... Once they just get this mass of like DK getting his first item, Terrorblade getting his, and then they just go down a lane, like, what do you do actually? You have next to no D-push, you have Fade Bolt and you have Overwhelming Odds and maybe like a level 1 rocket at like the 10-minute mark. How are you going to D-push that?
Good point. I guess yeah.
I mean, you just go, you run at them, and you place wards behind the tower, you scout, and their supports can't go close, Clock might be able to hook in, but yeah, good luck following that off.
Oh, awkward. He's found the Dazzle, and the Banner Assault into Cogs. He has the Grave, alright, but I don't think that's gonna stop him from getting the kill anyways, he's just gonna stand there. Look
He
at
could
that.
live. Like,
live.
you just hit the cogs and you run to your TB and you live. He just accepted death.
And the Clock was just very happy. He's like, guys, look, I got a kill. Free kill. Alright, so 3-0. Braveheart actually doing much better in this laning phase. They really emphasized on having strong lanes this game, didn't they?
That's what they drafted for, and the Clockwork's getting much more out of his early rotations this game than he did last time, which is nice. And on the other side, Newbee supports, like, they don't move around the map at all. Anywhere near as well. Like, Earthshaker's okay at doing it when you have strong lanes, but... Space created, boys.
Sure. Oh no, lovely purge at the right time from Lao A. Yeah, Lao A means old A. But okay, Dazzle's coming as well. I don't think you want to get tango too closely with these 2 heroes.
What's with every Chinese player and being old, man? They're all just following a trend now. They're all sheep. None of them are trendsetters, you know? First it was old 11 and now it's everyone else.
Arguably Lao A, he's not that Lao for like much longer than everyone else. So I don't think like he's about being a trendsetter.
Okay, that's fair, that's fair. That's me not knowing, but you know, Lannon did it, old Chicken, old 11, you know, like so many people did it.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but I'm not sure. Maybe we're gonna have to ask Jack. This could be like a Chinese meme thing.
We need Jacks, like, for every region. We need someone who has that much knowledge. Like, NA has Gran, China has Jack, Russia, I don't know, EU, I don't know. So, like, you know, we need more of these people in the scene. They're invaluable, dude.
I know, right? But okay, hold on. They did get a big snipe at the top lane, you know, that was Earthshaker going down. But I think getting the Venom as well. Bouncing into the cause, and the Fisher onto 2. Well, looks like Venom will still die anyways. HMX on the run, needs to get that regen up for the Venom. Oh, the playbook might actually be enough to get the regen. Needs that one more right click. The Telekinesis is going to save him. And would the Poison Sting be enough to kill Venom? No, it's not fatal, so actually easier to get out. Poison touch now into the Clockwork. Clockwork's going to be there. Slog still killing at the trees. They found him. Oh, that Shadow Dance. The fuck. He's gonna get stoned, you know. Heal Bomb's gonna come out. Actually, might even get killed. Bang. HMX. Oh, the Urn keeping him alive. And now there's no mana to the Earthshaker. Slog getting many kills top lane. Thank you for the free farm. So, you know who needs CS when you're farming heroes?
Exactly. This is the DMX way. Farm heroes, not creeps.
X can't give it to you. Oh no. I'm not gonna set this right now.
I'll take that.
Why not, dude? I'm sure the viewers would love it.
No man, I'm saving that for when I actually make to a line. Feels bad.
No, that's fair, that's fair.
Go for me.
I would join you, but I've been told by multiple people my singing sucks. Feels bad, man.
You don't do karaoke for good at singing. It's not a competition. You do it just for the fun of it.
Yes.
The bad singing
That is true.
Bad singing makes it fun. So you're the one who's gonna be the highlight, not me.
Oh, okay.
That's how it works.
Shit, thanks, dude.
Kill my own before I
That's
let
what I do,
you
man.
have them.
I mean, after all, I'm supposed to be Mr. Positive. You're supposed to be Mr. Negative. That's how this house works, right?
Yeah, that's true, that's true. I've been more positive over the past few months though, so the dynamic might shift a bit.
Was it a girlfriend? Is there someone nice coming to your life? Is that it?
Maybe, dude, maybe.
Ah, so now we know. Alright. So far it's 7-0. Braveheart having an amazing laning phase in the first 9 minutes of the game. They are thinking about actually going for a nice flank. Here comes Alma coming in, walking in, doesn't really get Dragon's kill off. They wanted the big kill, but hey, now there you go. They will get the Dragon's kill. Last was the Rubik Purge Lock. Launch it to 3-5. They will find Rubik kill. Trying to go to 8-7-6. The Cogs will push them back, and they're happy with that one pick off. Although the ideal situation would have been to kill the LC, but no, you take what you get.
It's a kill regardless of who, and then ideally a tower. And this is where the LC having like a soul ring and Viper TPing down here might prevent this, or at least prolong it for their Slack to continue one-on-oneing this Veno and the clock to get levels mid. But the TP's away. I think this is a good decision from them. It's like such a heavy investment to push into this early on when your creeps are so weak and they have the 2 nukes. And your supports are out of mana as well, like Shaker has no sustain. Just about to get his arcane, so.
Yeah, that's the big plus. BC gets arcane. But he's still quite under-leveled, like, support levels wise. You know, it's Braveheart once again with the level advantage. Maybe Clockwork's a bit behind lowest level, but this is gonna change after this mid-week wave. Because you see the Shaker and the Dazzle, they're still stuck in the bottom lane, and they're still splitting that EXP.
Like, when you play Shaker as a roaming hero, you need heroes like Viper, Veno, and these like more cancerous laning heroes to be able to do things on the map. When you have a Dragon Knight and the laning stage and a Terrorblade, like, it's so hard to do anything. You basically just block creeps and try and pull lanes and be annoying where you can. It's not easy. Like, when GH played this hero at TI, like, he had a team built around it. This time it's more just Shaker thrown into a team that he's going to be useful at later stages of the game because the hero is amazing, but he's going to have a slightly harder time getting there. And so far, like, they've had 1 kill go their way, not the best, and Braveheart stopped them pushing the tier 1, so much better game start for them.
So what do you see for this terrible in the near future? It's because, I don't know, I feel like even the Dragonlance, maybe they might be able to start taking tier 1s a bit more convincingly if the Dragon is in form. Because he did go for the jump, so it does indicate they kind of want to go for some mid-game that's quite soon. Like maybe the next 4 months.
Yeah, they definitely want to be grouping up, so I like Dragonlance on TV, it's just good stats. And if you want to be fighting, then it's better than a Yasha, just for the health pool. With a Dazzle, I mean, you can argue the Yasha because it's just a good item, all in all. But we shall see. He's got meta up again now, he's just about got money for his item. DK form is up, he's going to push out this wave and have treads. They can go down a lane if they want, but it's going to be harder now, Clock has 6. Like, if they don't group up correctly and then they get picked off on other sides of the map, the game gets a bit harder.
Oh, using the Shadow Blade, he will get the extra damage kill for Korea. Now even going to the Earthshaker as well. Find a nice count. Yes, still, Dragon's Tail now. Actually going to do anything. They said he popped the Shadow down, probably a bit too preemptively, and now he's in trouble. Alright, so that's the one. Chargers really wanted Earthshaker kill. Oh, but the hook shot. Alright, misses the punch. He still can go in. He has the Shadow Blade off cooldown in 7 seconds. And meanwhile, middle lane, they do find 1 kill, which is Venom. Might turn in some trouble. Has 1 charge to pick up the attack. They were thinking about going back in. But Corrosive can actually level 4, so it helps them tank that Poison Nova very, very nicely. They have the Shrine to go back to? Yes, they do. Which they will use again. And probably just reset, go back to the middle lane after.
This game's going so well.
You were saying, sorry, what?
Like, this game's going so well. The Slack has a Shadow Blade, he's active, gets involved in a kill, and then Newbee burn these 2 spells that they need to push, and they get nothing out of it, not even a kill this time. They just get more time to farm, and DK is getting out-farmed by Viper, which isn't something you see every day. Terrorblade's getting out-farmed by Slack, and if the trend continues, then, you know, it's going to stay this way. And LC has money for Blink now. Went straight Blink, if he wants to, after a Soul Ring, which is quite unusual, but they want to split the map, and now they can get a free kill on the Shaker with the clock.
Dodging. Oh, he anticipated that. That was really smart. He walked to the right to anticipate the Totem, and they don't get the damage, but they will get the kill. So that's pretty big.
Easy sidestep, man.
this guy's played some basketball. So, alright, so, you know, it's a pretty decent debut from Dagger.
I'll take that.
Y-Chen, 4 staff versus Ida though. This is a bit weird.
It's because of the Shaker.
Yeah, okay, I see that.
And 3 kill top, you know. Terrorblade just on his own, pushing, his team's reacting to other things, LCTP's in, Slack's there. Again, it just, Newbee have a very, very clear game plan, but when plan A doesn't work, their plan B doesn't seem to be an actual follow for them. Like, the way they're moving around the map, how they're positioning their heroes is just not gaining them any kind of advantage. And it's all because Braveheart are kind of stopping their first moves. Like, throughout last game and the start of this game, you can clearly see who's got the better game plan and the better captain and working as a team.
But it's like I said, you know, Y-Chen, he's been in this for a while, so it does kind of make sense, like, you know, Braveheart, because they've been stuck at this level, I feel, where they just haven't been able to make it to the big stage, haven't had the opportunity to play at the big stage yet, but these guys, they've been around for a while. Yeah. I think I've seen Y-Chen play a couple of C games at one point, but... So, Viper pick works out, who knew? Sometimes, if you want to win these crucial games, you just have to play the boring heroes.
Yep. That's why playing core sucks at times.
You want to go for the million, jumping the Viper. That's a really tanky hero. I'm not sure that's the spot play. He has a 4 staff as well. That's a big long shot. The cogs as well to block off the advance. They can't move any further forward. They will try and farm the cogs and take the tower.
Rubik has played it, so good luck pushing this. Again though, like, they're making such a cohesive effort to not let any tier 1 fall. Like, you see all 5 heroes here. And that's because Slack is like fighting ready after they defended the first 2 towers through just like their spells and levels. And now they're just wasting their time for Newbee, and they're even getting an initiation.
Venom, Clockwork should be down here first. Grave going to keep that Venom alive. They really pop the Viper Strike, hold it. Here comes GMX, he wants more blood. He's going to try and get some kills on the Shadow Dance as well. He falls out, he doesn't want to go back in. Venom's going to get the Echo Slam just to make sure that Y-Chen goes down. So, very heavy commitment, and you lose your Viper in the process with the Clockwork. Doesn't really seem worth it. What do you think?
Slack has DD. If he cleans up here, then it's fine, but they're smart. They're going away to their shrine, which is up in like 2 seconds. I mean, the jump looked good. I see why he went for it, but without being really mean, that's like why they're a tier 2 team. They didn't need to make that jump. There's an element of risk to that play, and they could have just defended their tower, made the other team waste their time and not initiate into them, which is still a pretty strong fighting team, you know. Dazzle, loads of Plague Wards down, TB has his meta up and a few illusions. Like, you don't need to fight into that, you just need to stop them doing what they want. And at the end of the day, it's a small trade.
Wow. On the Venom to kill top lane. DNX is having the greatest time. He's actually going for a BKB first. I don't know, Echo Saber. He's just depending on the
This is a real Slack build.
This is the real Slack build?
Yeah, people who go Echo Saber first in games like these are the reasons why you lose.
But how is that? What's the reasoning behind that? Why would you say that?
Okay, look at the composition that Newbee have, right? What stopped Slack doing his thing this game? One, the stuns, which, okay, you can argue Dark Pacting and stuff, but you don't always have that spell up. And BKB allows you to pretty much have like a 15-second uptime on a single hero. And their physical damage, you're going to kill the TB illusions pretty quickly. Your team has like plenty of ways to force them on the defensive. So, I mean, sure, you can argue that an Echo would do the same thing because you're playing from a lead. But if ever they get to a point where they can fight you, like Shaker has a blink and you don't have this item yet, your team can't fight. And that's got to be a team decision. That's not a player decision, because 90% of people will go Echo Saber. Or some farming item, or some intermediary item like S and Y, something like that, right? But they're making such a good effort of keeping these tier 1s up, always fighting them when they show. Like, not giving them any kind of lead at all. And because of that, Braveheart has a 7k lead. Which is mostly on the supports, and so, but you know, it's like 3k ahead of the DK, which is pretty good. So he can get this item, and it's super early. Like, he has it right now. So they can just go and fight, and Slack having a low BKB cooldown is not a bad thing.
Oh, he might even find the Dazzle.
Win this game. Yeah.
I should agree with the point. Hold on, hook shot going in, catching the Dazzle. There's a sentry there, so the Slot will know what's going on. Grave, but no, he's gonna happy. He's gonna be really happy for the Grave. He's just gonna steal all these 3 stacks. And there we go. Nice and easy kill, 14-3, and if you're playing on the Radiant side, Newbee, you have to be a bit tilted or a bit worried because you're playing a push craft with a DK and a Terror. Not getting tier 1 towers at all. This is really, really bad.
It's not as bad as it could be because they do have late game with their heroes for sure. They just wanted to be getting a bit more off the map, and like, you see how dedicated they are, right? They could go and take this tier 1 bottom. They could take a trade, but they're like, no, we're gonna come to your lane, we're gonna run at you, and you're not taking shit of ours. We're gonna fight you.
And actually, DMX in back line still has that ultimate. He's okay. He has the BK. He's gonna start fighting, taking all the stats. He's found the uptick. Echo Slam doesn't really catch anything. Oh my god, Pika, you were right as hell.
That's why I'm here, right?
Yes.
It's not for my personality or because of anything else. That's for sure.
But yeah, that Echo really. But that was just amazing, man. That was amazing. You called it perfect.
I mean, like, he would have done the same thing with an Echo Saber in that sense most of the time, but it's the confidence of allowing you to fight. And he doesn't need more damage right now. Like, you see, he does enough to kill the supports. And then once he's killed the supports, he's at like 5-6 stacks. You hit the cores a few times that are stunned by the rest of your team or running away, and then you go up to 13 and they just die. And he has 10,500 gold under his belt. He's farming really fast. If you continue getting kills, like if they find their TB or probably the Shaker here under the ward, it's just free gold. He's going to continue getting it.
He's going straight for the Terror. He's found the Terror as well. He already got himself 1 kill. And actually they get 2 in the clockwork. One able to be finding themselves in range with Lift, but still 2 kills and the supports are just so poor. Upshade is going to have a really hard time getting to the Blink Dagger this game. Like so far I just feel how much the supports are doing inside of Braveheart is doing way more than what Newbee.Young should be accomplishing.
Yep, and this is why you see like support Shaker way less. You see Dazzle so much less because they are not enabling heroes in terms of like this meta game. You don't just pick this support and steroid your core and go and win the game anymore. You need supports that can make things happen, and Shaker can, but like Dazzle doesn't assist him with that. DK only in the right matchup. Terrorblade again only in the right kind of matchup, and Benno, well, like, you know, he skilled wards and died 3-4 times. You know, he wasn't playing aggressive.
I just feel
basically all he's done this game is give Benno wards to Rubik, so it makes tower pushing harder and it makes Rubik's life of farming easier. And now he has 4 staff arcanes. He's got a shit ton of levels as well.
Oh yeah, you're right. He has more net worth than the Earthshaker and Dazzle combined. And I think it's also worth mentioning
he's
that
higher level than Benno.
He is. But also like bottom lane, because they committed 3 heroes to try and kill the LC. But every time they tried to kill him, the LC just got away. So that was wasted time bottom lane. Oh, but the smoke, hold on, Terrorblade, the smoke already breaks. They were coming to get the LC over here. Oh, they even committed the X-Slam for that. That was a big commitment. But do they want to contest this? No, they're just happy to let this be.
Yeah, the smoke, I think, just caught him off and his blink was cooldown, so... This is their first tower, 22 minutes into the game. Their first successful smoke can take a tower. And meanwhile, the other 2 lanes are getting shoved in. By the time they hit the tier 2, LC will be nearly up, so they're going to have to play cautious. And if I'm correct, yeah, Viper has a Maelstrom coming out, so he's going to be better at pushing waves. He's going to be doing a lot more damage in team fights. He took the IG talent as well, so he's hitting pretty hard right now. He's very farmed. Slark took the lifesteal talent, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of, but I can see the point in this game.
What do you think about the Halberd pick onto the Viper coming up though? Is it just to make sure you nerf like one of the TB illusions or even the TB himself if you're lucky? Well, alright, they do get themselves one kill with this clockwork top lane. Oh, that's DK Shadowblade now breaking in, they want to get killed back here. One comes out, but it's going straight to the backline for the Dazzle. Should have been enough damage here. There we go. So the DK doesn't quite get him because he beat out. And now this is the lift up to the Venom. He's going to go 1 second as well. Which means he goes for the cost of 1.
And the LC lives? Yeah, I think he lives. He's Gucci. So very good trade overall. Slack uses another BKB charge, but they know the Echo's down, they know the DK and meta aren't necessarily available yet, so they can just go into Roche. It's going to get scouted by illusions here, but are they scared? Probably not.
I mean, they know that Echo is still down as well because they used it top, so that's going to be okay. They can just take this Roshan very, very easily. No worries though. No, there's no team fight spells even available. There's no metamorphosis, there's no giant dragon forms here, and there we go. Down goes White Cherry. Oh no, force that way. They can't even kill the Viper. Hook shot. Okay. Oh, but that's an arcane, so it's gonna be fine. Slark is still lurking around.
It's gonna find the Venom?
No, it's
yeah, they don't have their shrine for 40 seconds, so taking this Roche is a bit scary.
But that's Dragon Form wasted. He has it already down to half his duration already gone. So are they just gonna wait for the shrine? Okay, they'll push up the top there first, and then they will go back into maybe a Roche attempt in the middle lane. Once again, trying for its clockwork. They have to realize they need sentries around the middle lane as well, just in case.
Yeah, they're a bit like greedy at the moment. The Rubik wants his blink, which is fair. And the chicken's constantly getting used for like upper items, so they're getting sentries out now. A sentry at least.
Terribly does have metamorphosis up, so could be the big opening. He's actually doing quite well in net worth. He's not that far behind the Viper.
He's doing a good job of keeping up farm wise, but it's the exact same thing as the anti-mage game, right? Like, he needs a way to use that farm this game, and Manta is like step number one.
Hook shot, backline, will find the Viper. Maybe actually no, they go straight for the Dazzle. Should not be the winner for Huawei. But now with the backline, hello, going for the Venom to pick. DMS in some trouble, and he's bounce away, he will bounce. But Viper, oh, different case, Echo Slap, push that forward, getting the Viper strike to the Shaker. DMS is still working around. Rubik, oh yeah, he needs to Dark Pack that off, and they want to chase after this 3-for-2 trade. Not the best trade, losing your Dazzle and Venom but you lose your Viper, your LC, and your Clockwork. I think it's just too aggressive in that case.
Yeah, I think the Slark had the BKB and he felt confident, and his team felt confident, he felt confident, and then his team went in and they didn't have BKBs, so they died. But like, Slark wouldn't be able to make that play with a different item. His team just got a bit over the top, I think. So by no means are Newbee out of this. Like, it's been a really hard game for them. A lot of their plan A's have been countered, but they still have these two heroes that scale amazingly well into the game. Dazzle is a great late game support. He makes you play so differently, and your initiations have to be better because this hero is just on the enemy team. Same thing with Shaker, and Venom's just going to be like Venomancer, you know, annoying as hell as the game goes on. Probably more utility items this game. You can already see he's looking at like Hellbird, Solar Crest, that kind of stuff.
This would be a bit of a risky play. They do realize that some of these spells may be down. Poison Nova and Earthshake Ultimate. They do the Dragon Form and the Metamorphosis. Against the Roshan now, very, very risky. How this goes, but it doesn't seem like they are the contestants just yet. Roshan's really, really low. Using illusion, they know that Roshan's really low. Dragon comes in, with the BKB as well, going straight into the Viper. But DMX is happy to collect all these 3 stats. Trying to steal the Aegis here. Actually, he does get the Aegis and the Roshan kill. Really big stuff, but the Venom Man goes down. Double kill for the Clockwork, and they will bring that LC down. And this is where they try to fight their core dragon. Oh, the Sunder! Saving the Dragon. And now they can try and push for the Rook, maybe 3-for-2 trade already. And Slark, oh no, they do get Dragon Form onto the Dragon Tail, onto the Rubik, and Rubik will die here. Force that forward. Under the Shrine, actually gonna be okay. Takes care of the illusions, and now they can think about going back in. Maybe burn the Aegis here. Alright. No detection.
What detection? It's in his backpack. Feels bad, man. Yeah, now he swaps it in. Little late, bro. Little late.
Just a little. Just a little. He's actually going for an Assault Curse this game. Alright, something you don't usually see on the stock yet.
I think it's necessary this game. Like, look at how much physical damage is the problem. That fight, like, so many things could have gone differently, and the result could have gone so many different ways. But with the amount Braveheart's been winning the early game, they probably feel like they're stronger than they are in relation right now. And Newbee's 2 cores, They're doing really well farm-wise. Like, DK as a hero gets so much from just his talents and his levels. Terrorblade doesn't need that much to still chunk heroes. And I think they probably just realized that this is the stage of the game, they need to be a bit more smart about their moves. They can't just brute force it as much anymore.
And the user blade pickup coming up for the Terrorblade. Dragon Knight's almost hitting the level 20 talent, dude. Plus 120 GPM. Free items incoming.
Yep.
And he's gonna have a halberd on the way. That's gonna be quite useful against the Slark. You can't purge it off with BKB anymore. And now they're gonna try for a tier 1 tower. And this is where, you know, trying to defend your tower is 5 against this draft is probably not the smartest idea. But look at that damage onto the Clockwork. Holy cow. And here comes the backstab. You go get the kill. Dragon Tail. He's found the Legion. He won't actually kill the Clockwork. Echo, there we go, the Blink Dagger, and there we go, nice fixture, connecting to 2 with the Dragon's Tail. They take the Tail and Tower, they go straight for tier 2. Great optimum farm efficiency right there. 2 towers in 30 seconds, seems good.
Go more, go more.
Go more. No
the
LC.
Vibe boys. Go big or go home, small son.
Alright, the Clockwork now, look at same story, almost dead from all those hits. It looks like they will actually win a tier 3 tower like this. Fortification forced out. They have no D push, like I said. PQ going to try and get a stun there with the telekinesis blink out. But what can they do? What can they do? Going here, but oh no, the Sunder and HMX. He needs to get out here, popping the shield down, trying to get as as he can. The Hotel's going to be off the mark. Illusions the poison over. Aegis will get popped. Over the backline, the Clockwork in some serious trouble. Looks like he's going down here. And no buy for 45 seconds. Looks like they can just go for the tower in tier 3 tower. Hello, Viper. Viper, can he chase on? Just the attack. He's actually going to be kept alive. But now wait, going for you. He does get 1 kill. Will he find a second? No, it's time to take the tower. And okay, so he takes tier 3 tower. He opened up his shrines. Not the biggest loss. They're looking for a bit more, but over the right side, someone did TP out. Going to try and get the DK up here. They did put the dust. No, they purge it off. Telekinesis lift. Now they're just ragdashing down. Looks like the actually will die here.
All in all, I think Braveheart will take that because that looked super scary. Like, Meta just went down and then they had their window where they went in. They prolonged the fight long enough and used the fact they were so close to their base so they could shrine, they could fountain up, come back in with these heroes. You know, you know how scary it is to like look at that TB and DK station your towers as a Slark. If you don't have BKB for when that happens, like if you had an AC and like an Echo Saber or something, I don't think you can take that fight.
Not at all. But that was.
But now they can. And sure, overall, I'd say Newbee are pretty happy with that. Like they get a tier 3, and now it's about what they do with that. Because if they just chain feed to Braveheart getting like a load of stacks on the Slark, yeah, like if he dies there with the duel and then the momentum goes back the other way, then it's definitely not worth it. But if they trade this tier 2 and the kills that they gave up, I don't think it's too bad for Newbee. Okay. They just need to continue building on that momentum because at the moment they are stronger as a 5-man unit, and Dota is all about 5-manning at the moment. Like you have to be able to win a fight to get something. Especially this game, as there's very few like rat heroes from Braveheart. You know, Slark's good at pushing waves, but hitting towers with 0 stacks is not normally his forte.
Now they are going to smoke up. They'll see where they go.
Poor Rubik.
Yep. Sometimes this is what you tank smokes. You buy, but at least the cores didn't die, and that's the big win there. You can be optimistic about that.
Yeah, but look where his cores are, right? Like, you can say, yeah, okay, my core didn't die, but the Clockwork was the only other person in the vicinity. The rest of his cores were safe. He was tanking that gank for information purposes, but, you know, it's not like his anti-mage was right next to him and stuff like last game. And now Newbee do the same thing, you know, their stuff's already. The TB nearly has his Scatty, but they feel like they can force this tier 2 without the item. But, you know, Braveheart,
they disagree. The backline, isolate 2 heroes, those BKBs. Not about Necro Slam, it's not going to do much. And actually, they will bring up the death of the backline, which is as well. Looking like happy if the Sunder, actually using onto the Venom. It's really, really low. Okay, wait the wall. and they were actually took the kill from the LC. So that's going to be a 3-2 trade. They're looking for more. They're going to try and find the Earthshaker, no way to cancel the TP, and he's going to get out. But they found the Dragonite. The Dragonite is even bigger TP target, so purging everything off. Of course, Dragon Tail doesn't
good.
matter. He still has another pounce. Oh, detection. What is detection? Oh, there is.
It was
Hunt.
cooldown. It just came off.
Oh, okay. So sad. I mean, Spike, you can tell he wants to go for double pick this game.
Yeah, one for each hero in his lineup. I think it was actually really important. They took the fight when Newbee didn't respect that they could take the fight. Like, the more chaotic these fights are, the better the Slack and Viper become. The Shaker wants a very controlled initiation or counter initiation, but they came from like multiple angles. Shaker didn't do anything that fight. The Dazzle, same thing. And you know, when your Venom gets sundered to half life at the start, that doesn't feel too good either. Even though the TP managed to get out because of a TP, he made the right decision. But again, Braveheart defend their tower. They actually take minimal damage on it. I don't think it even got hit, that fight. They took it so early. Now they're at a point where Slack has his AC finished. The Viper's nearly at his Mjolnir, and they're starting to be able to build towards these items that are going to allow these less team fight orientated heroes to maybe start taking the fights again. Because that fight was just execution. You know, they won that on shot calling alone.
And I like the AC pickup more and more because, like you said, you know, it's about helping these supports be able to stand in the front lines. But now the smoke 876 in the wrong place, and with the Fisher to block anyone from even following up. That was like the freebie. You know, Newbee.Young were just like, guys, snack.
Yeah. Space.
Space, and Rubik's just gonna TP out.
Yep, he gets the deep ward, so he's going to have some information, but the ward doesn't see like this at all, so it's not the best ward right now. But no vision on this side of the map's going to matter when they just go like this.
And you're right, now the tier 2 taking a ton of damage. Look at that fall, look at all those fire spike. That's terribly shoot out of hands anyway.
I don't know. Snowballs when it's scatty, but yeah.
Oh, Dragon from the poke out in. That's really forced to mate 7-6 once again. DMX trying to check the pesky Daddle who Glimmercaped away, no detection. Marco still isolated inside his out. Looking for the view, won't find the Venom. There's an out, the road goes down. DMX already getting one, looking for more. Popping the dust, trying to find maybe the DK, but decides to go for Xiao Salah instead. Looks like we'll find an Earthshaker and stay on the hunt, chasing him, and there we go. No stun's gonna save you. They do find 2 kills, and they could actually try and turn this around into perhaps high ground if they can get the big wave there.
9 stacks on Slack, so not the most, and they don't really have the sustain for Viper, but they can try and do some damage once the creeps get closer.
Jesus, try and turn this. No B3, now they pop the deal. The Dragonite actually died. The Grave is gonna keep him alive long enough, but will be long. The Sunder gonna be
good
there.
Sunder.
Wow. Terror to sell this play, and DK actually might still die here. Not enough. And now Rubik going in. Go force the Dragonite. Buyback up to 3 here. They're happy with this. They can actually just back out of here. Wow, this is some amazing stuff we're seeing here, PQ. Like, it's back and forth. Tons of back and forth at this point in the game.
They want to go again. Slack has BKB, so he can frontline, but this is risky. I mean, he's got balls. I'll give him that.
For the stun, pop the dust, even he's there. And the purge as well. So they do tier 3 tower and he can actually back out. Try and catch some Gears. Oh, nice rocket flare. But Earthshaker, he's the blink. Oh, Echoes off the mark!
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame him for trying that. Like, he knows he needs to catch. And yeah, they're just a bit too quick. And now they get to go back, Shrine up. LC is very close to a BKB. So that's going to help a lot in terms of finding the right hero in fights. And actually being able to connect on the damage as well, which is always a good thing.
Alright, so somewhere up there, you can imagine what the coach is thinking. He's like, yeah, I'm not even sure what you can buy with that. Right, so
a one-way ticket out of this tournament, dude. That's what you can buy.
You have no chill. You know that, right? You have no chill.
I know. I don't blame him. I think most people would go for that kind of play, like, but maybe, you know, not press echo instantly. But they know they needed to chase.
Like, I'm just curious why you didn't want to try the Fisher instead. You had longer range with the Fisher.
It was cooldown.
Cooldown. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he used it here. That's why half his team was blocked off and then they were chasing. So,
okay.
like, that was his tool. You know, otherwise he just blinks in and probably dies immediately if they turn on him. So.
And now the smoke play from Braveheart. This is a really smart play. They used to scan. They know exactly where they are. They will find the dazzle.
Dazzle's in the front.
He's gonna pounce for it anyways. He knows the pounce connected.
No detection.
Oh, they're gonna duel again off the Dragonite. Dragonite's actually gonna die. Unless they can get a nice under the grave. He's gonna be there keeping him alive, following up. Terribly's gonna lift it up in the backline. Won't be get Sunder off the time. Now he will use it, but Terribly no force it back out. And this is where the Venomans die. So there's one hero down. They're gonna look for more. Maybe try and find the Dragonite, but immediately force stuff out. And they do wait. Taking care of the wards now, making sure their vision and Braveheart are really not fit. This 5-man fighting constantly. It's just so messy, but somehow Braveheart are coming out on top.
Messy is good for them. That's exactly what they want. Like, the more structured the fight is, the better it is for Newbee. That's just kind of swag as a hero. But like, this Terrorblade, he's 22k net worth. Every fight so far, he has used his Thunder to save his DK in like the important fight.
Rubik push that forward, saved by the Fisher apparently. And trying to put the Aegis with the Echo Diamond to 3. Do they have enough damage? Heaven's gonna try to bring down this fight, but who did pick up the Aegis, so maybe not the biggest priority. But GMX,
she's on Alpha.
White Shed, the Hurricane Pike is great out of this. He needs to go in the backside. He's gonna go straight to Terrorblade. And there's the Racket came down, using the Sunder. Oh no, he didn't get it in the nick of time. And White Shed doesn't have enough for the Hurricane Pike. Actually, force us up to the high ground. This is awkward. But him on the cliff, him against the wall, and of course popping the cheese. They will find the Terrorblade kill. They might be able to force the buyback out, but the creep waves are not in their favor for a high ground push.
Yeah, their only option right now would be to run bottom, but the heroes aren't topped, so go back to the shrine, push out mid. Are they close to any item? Rubik Eggs, that's about the only thing they're really close to, so. They're gonna have about 45-50 seconds when they get to the tower for Terrorblade to be up, so they're gonna try and force a buyback. And, you know, Slack has 17 stacks, he has his BKB available when they get to the high ground, so this is looking really good for them.
For sure will buy them a bit of time. They really don't want to use this terrible buyback, and if he dies one more time, the game will be over right there. Newbee.Young, they've tried several times. Just mentioning is going to say, guys, this is the third open qualifier for Scarlet in the Chinese region as well. So some of these teams,
that's a lot.
That's a lot. But that's because there's tons of teams playing this game. I mean, I hope I'm seeing this right, because Wikipedia says this is a good one, so I could be wrong. Or that could just be season, that it could just be like by season, not just like third. So you never know.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, because China overall has the most strength and depth to a region. Like, NA is pretty top heavy, EU is pretty top heavy, their tier 2 teams are no longer really as strong as they used to be. And China has like a lot of depth to their scene.
I'll take that.
So they deserve more qualifiers if that is the case. If it isn't, then well, you're just a liar, dude. What can we say? Information on the internet is always correct.
I even said that it could be like by season instead, you know?
Yeah.
Right,
No, Slack's gonna get an arcane rune as well, which could be really nice.
Oh, this is a big rune for him. He actually decides to pick it up, and I think
MKB.
Viper's going towards an MKB as well. So
and he has a gem now on Slack, so no more bullshit shenanigans. Like, every fight, the clock needs to be next to him with dust and not stunned, and so many things for him to be able to connect on the targets he wants. So getting this gem is going to make his life a lot easier. Rubik bought it as well, so Rubik's pretty rich, you know.
He's really rich for support. None of the, like, once again, you combine the net worth, they just hit the same amount as Rubik, so that's pretty sick. Viper's really,
and that's not including the gem he bought.
Yep.
I mean, Viper out farming DK just kind of states the way this game's going. They had this window where they were pushing the tier 3 bottom and things looked really good for them. They had this huge power spike, and now the game just feels like it's completely mellowed out for them. They're back to playing completely reactively, and Braveheart just control the map. And most of this is because if you look at the map, there's no vision for Newbee at all. The only read they're going to have on the map is what their Terrorblade illusions give them and what response they see. And now Slark has a gem. It's gonna basically be save your wards to fight. Like if you place them preemptively, you have to play around them. So now they're smoking up. They have a gem themselves. They have 3 wards available to place. But if they fight into a high ground, then that's sketch. Even if they do get this DD on TB.
They're gonna try anyways. They're walking up, but they already see the Veilmancer over the back line. We're finding the Earthshaker. They can make sure he doesn't get the end slam off. He's forced that forward, but he's dead. They don't even care about him. DMX going for a man fight against this terrible with the shot. Oh my god, won't even get the thunder off. And they're gonna find 3. It's a complete disaster. Dragon isolated here. Proper from the playmail. Should be the 4 staff away. Yep, and look at the songs like thank you for all the stacks. Thank you for the music. Earthshaker at the back line. Oh my god. It's a full team wipe and a terribly advanced back.
He's the only one with buyback though, and when Braveheart hit this base, they're gonna find that out. DK has no buyback for 30, Shaker no money, Dazzle no money, and Venom no money. So
this is really scary right now. I don't even know how they're gonna defend this. This is probably gonna be the Megas right here. No buybacks on any of these heroes. Even the Dragon Knight included. But the Creeper isn't there yet, so maybe advise them like 10 seconds a time. But okay, Terrorblade, he's found the Legion Commander, getting a solo kill here. Maybe no telekinesis to spoil his party. He's not getting the kill, and if he dies, it could be over. Oh yeah, the Fisher. And all the free stats, Brother Duel, no Sunder. This is a dieback. 100 seconds without your Terrorblade.
yeah.
And the GG is called. They've had enough. Newbee.Young. Young and inexperienced. Braveheart looks like, oh no. Wisdom wins in the end. It's always the seniority track.
Yeah, I agree. They were the better team. They made the better decisions. That's kind of what it comes down to at the moment. They took the better fights. They knew how to execute their draft better, and props to them. Because this game was a lot harder than it looked. Like, they made a lot of key decisions and they knew their game plan from like minute 1. So credit to whoever their captain is or whoever's making the calls in game, because it made the game like so much easier.
Indeed. I just really like the Viper pick. Like, considering how it's a boring game, I still liked it, this game. I mean, ever since Talon's...
It did its job.
He did a great job. And we saw like the movement from Braveheart was really good, like you said. You know, defending the towers like every single tier and not giving any room, no objectives at all to Newbee.Young, and it delayed their timing so much. Shaker, by the time he even got a blink, he was level 15 at the end of this game. So was Dazzle. They were so underleveled. I mean, the economy was shambles without getting these early objectives.
Yeah, that's why these heroes are so rare as supports these days.
Maybe you should stock Earthshaker off then. Then again, we have plenty of what ifs. So, alright, any final thoughts before we head into the grand finals?
No, just I hope the grand finals are a bit closer. This looked like a pretty one-sided series overall.
It was. So, ladies and gentlemen,
it's still best of 3, right?
Yeah, still the best of 3. It's not BO5. So we'll be back for our next game. Let me check the bracket for you guys, because now that Newbee.Young is out, Braveheart will actually be playing against LYG Gaming, I believe. I'll have to ask the admin after this, but don't worry guys, we'll be back soon for some more Dota. You can follow me at Hades.TV. You can follow my co-cast at PQMDota_. So we'll see you guys for more Starlight Chinese action in a jiffy.